My brother, Leo, didn't even wait for our father's funeral to be over before he changed the locks on the family estate. Ever since we were children, Leo possessed this toxic, overbearing greed that my father unfortunately mistook for business ambition. Leo was always the golden child, the one who could do no wrong in the eyes of our extended family, while I was constantly pushed into the background, expected to be quiet, compliant, and grateful for whatever scraps were left for me. As I stood on the cold porch with my heavy suitcases in hand, Leo leaned casually against the solid mahogany door frame of our childhood home, slowly swirling a glass of our father's priceless vintage scotch. He looked down at me with a cold, triumphant sneer that made my blood run cold. He tossed my old childhood photo album onto the wet gravel driveway, watching it land in the mud. He told me that Dad always said I completely lacked the killer instinct required for the family business. He said the house, the accounts, the entire firm, it was all his now, and told me to consider this my early retirement from the family tree. What Leo didn't know, and what his small mind couldn't possibly comprehend, was that while he was busy forging fake amendments to our father's will with his shady, high-priced lawyers, I had spent the last 5 years building something massive that he couldn't touch. I wasn't just a disappointed younger sister who was going to walk away quietly and cry. In secret, I had founded Vanguard Audits, an elite forensic financial investigation firm that specialized in tracking hidden assets. And by a beautiful twist of fate, our state government had just appointed my firm to investigate our family's highly irregular offshore accounts. 2 weeks after kicking me out of the estate, Leo was at the absolute peak of his arrogance. He believed he was completely untouchable and that he had won the game forever. He had already listed our historic family estate for sale on the luxury market and bought a customized, roaring Italian supercar with massive funds that did not belong to him. He was spending money like water, hosting lavish parties, and desperately trying to prove to high society that he was the new undisputed king of the city. That's when the official certified letter from Vanguard Audits arrived at his desk. Instead of taking it seriously, he called me immediately, literally laughing into the phone with pure malice. He told me that some low-level, pathetic auditing firm wanted to look at the family books. He bragged about how he already had his expensive corporate lawyers ready to completely bury them in court. He told me I should have stayed around to watch how a real shark operates in the business world, suggesting I was too weak to ever survive on my own. I didn't say a single word. I just quietly listened to his endless boasting and hung up the phone without giving him the satisfaction of a reaction. On the following Monday, I sat in my private office at the Vanguard Audits headquarters, watching our high-definition security feeds. Leo strutted into our lobby wearing a $5,000 custom designer suit, sporting a smug smirk that was about to be permanently erased from his face. He was loudly demanding to see the person in charge, claiming he wanted to settle this little misunderstanding immediately with a quick bribe. He thought everyone had a price, and he thought his stolen money could buy him a way out of any legal trouble. Leo walked into the main boardroom like he owned the entire building. He condescendingly told my receptionist that he was there to educate the lead auditor on how high-profile family estates actually work. He was still laughing, completely relaxed, when he was ushered into the secure room. I was sitting in the high-backed leather executive chair, facing away from him toward the gorgeous city skyline view. When I slowly spun the chair around to face him, Leo's smug smirk didn't just fade, it completely curdled. His jaw dropped, and he actually dropped his expensive leather briefcase onto the hardwood floor with a loud thud. He stammered in complete shock, asking what on earth I was doing sitting in the lead auditor's chair, accusing me of playing some kind of sick joke. I didn't flinch. I slowly slid a thick red folder across the desk toward him. I looked him dead in the eye and told him, "I'm not just the auditor, Leo. I am the founder and sole owner of this entire firm. And these documents, these are the exact, verified bank wire transfers you made from our father's secure offshore account directly to your personal offshore shell company in the Cayman Islands. These are the exact same funds you confidently claimed did not exist when you threw me out of our home." I explained to him that every single transaction had been tracked, logged, and verified by my team over the past 6 months, leaving him absolutely no room to lie. The self-proclaimed shark was suddenly gasping for air like a fish out of water. Leo's face turned from an arrogant red to a ghostly pale white as he flipped through the pages of undeniable evidence. He tried to bluster and threaten me with his high-priced attorneys, but when he realized that wouldn't work, his attitude shifted instantly into pathetic desperation. He began to plead with me, bringing up family loyalty, our shared childhood, and how our father would have wanted us to work together. Finally, in a desperate move, he tried to offer me a massive percentage of the stolen estate to make this investigation quietly disappear from the state records. I looked him dead in the eye and told him that during our deep investigation, my team didn't just find his illegal wire transfers. We also uncovered our father's original, unaltered last will and testament that Leo had tried so desperately to destroy. In that real document, our father had actually left the entire estate and control of the firm to me, knowing that Leo was far too reckless and greedy to ever lead the family legacy. I didn't even bother to respond to his corrupt bribe offer. I simply leaned forward, pressed the intercom button on my desk, and called security. I asked them to escort this gentleman out of the building immediately and told them to call the state prosecutor because my final, audited report of his financial crimes was officially ready. By the time Leo walked out into the parking lot in a complete daze, the loud Italian supercar he had purchased with stolen family money was already being chained and loaded onto a flatbed tow truck by the state authorities. The state had frozen every single one of his accounts, leaving him with absolutely nothing. He had changed the physical locks on our childhood family home, but he had completely forgotten that I was the one who held the keys to the entire financial kingdom. Leo didn't just lose the inheritance that day. He lost his freedom, his social status, his reputation, and the very power he had tried to use to bury me in the dirt. Now, Leo is facing years in a federal facility, waiting for his trial while his high society friends have completely vanished, pretending they never even knew him. I bought back our family estate, restored the original locks, and put my childhood photo album back where it belongs on the shelf. It serves as a great daily reminder to anyone who enters. If you build your entire life on a foundation of greed and lies, don't be surprised when the truth eventually costs you absolutely everything. If you enjoyed watching my entitled brother's massive ego get completely crushed by the ultimate karma, do not leave without showing some love. Smash that like button right now, hit subscribe to Karma Chronicles, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our weekly doses of sweet, satisfying justice. Drop a comment below. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? Until next time, stay real and stay strong.